Hello everyone, I'm back with another tutorial on data binding, event binding, property binding as well as two-way binding. So in the previous video we saw these curly braces. So what are these curly braces actually used for? These curly braces are actually known as interpolation property, the way to bind the variable from TypeScript file to your HTML template file. So it is just a way to connect your variable from TypeScript to HTML file. Now I'll show you one example. By that example you will totally understand how to use these interpolation property. So let's take an image. So in the image source I'm going to take a variable that I'll connect from TypeScript to HTML file. So inside source you can give any name. Okay, it will be just a variable name, and inside alt tag you can give any string that you want to display when the image won't be displayed on the web page. Now go to TypeScript file and there you can declare a variable that you gave inside the source tag. Okay, so yeah, now it's done. Now we will copy one source from the internet. Okay, let's see some JavaScript pictures. Okay, so from over there I will copy source. Okay, now let's copy its source. So right click on it and go to copy image address. Now we will go back to our TypeScript file and we will copy this source. Let's save this file and let's see whether our image is coming or not. Okay, it'll take a time to compile. Okay, now it's compiled successfully. Let's go to our browser, go to port number 4200. So yeah, as you can see, image is coming. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing but with property binding syntax. So now we will write just a simple variable and we will bind the source tag with the double braces. So although you would notice exactly everything is same, but just one difference is there. We are not using curly braces, we are using instead double braces to the property src, and we're just directly writing the image variable name. So in this way you can also bind the image variable to the source tag from TypeScript file. This is known as property binding, where you use double braces along with the property. So let's compile it and save it. So in a few minutes you will see image will come exactly the same way as it did earlier. So in this way you can also do the same thing. Okay, now let's understand event binding. So it is also exactly same like property binding, but instead using double braces we will use the round brackets. Okay, so events you can simple understand like if you're clicking a button or if you are executing any functions, all these things will be considered as events. So let's create a button. Okay, in that button we will create one event, like whenever it will be clicked we want to execute a function. So this class button sm button primary, it's just a simple bootstrap class which will make it blue. Okay, button primary is for blue color and button sm will create a smaller button. So we are creating, okay, if you would have noticed in JavaScript we use on click for clicking event, but in Angular it is different, we use click instead of on click. So just right click and we will bind that click variable with the round braces, and inside that we can write any function name. So let's declare this function inside the TypeScript file, which was click it, and we can write simple console.log. Any message you can write whenever that button will be clicked, it will be displayed in the console, that message. Okay, let's write user clicked it. Okay, so now let's just save it and compile it. So in a few seconds you'll see all these changes will be reflected on your web page. Okay, so yeah, now it's done. Let's open our browser. 1 minute. Okay, let's open a browser. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, button is now available. Go to inspect element to see the console. Okay, click on console and then you can click on the button and you will see their message. Now click over the button. Wait a minute. Okay, now click it. As you can see, message is coming on the console. So this was the event binding. Now what we are going to understand is two-way binding. That means just interacting in both ways, from TypeScript to HTML as well as from HTML to TypeScript. So this is the syntax: double braces along with round braces for two-way binding. Okay, so for explaining two-way binding, I'm going to be using ng model directive for now. So what a directive, I'm going to be explaining you that in next videos, so don't worry about that. So this is the built-in directive ng model which I will be using for explaining you this two-way binding. So for using ng model, first we will import forms module, because ng model is a part of forms module. Okay, so let's import this by writing import, then forms module, which is available in @angular/forms. So write from, then inside the inverted commas, @angular/forms. After writing this line, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this forms module variable inside the import array. Okay, copy this variable and go to import array and paste it. Okay, so now everything is done. We can use ng model freely. So we're going to take one input now. Okay, let's take one input and we will bind that input by using ng model directive, and we will give it any variable name. Okay, you can give it any name. I'm giving name. Okay, and I will also bind this variable to one paragraph. That means whenever we will change input, it will automatically bind that value to paragraph. So as you can see, two things are happening. One, whenever we will change a value, it will go to TypeScript and update the value, and inside the paragraph we have done interpolation. That means we will again take that value back from TypeScript to our HTML5. So in this way you can see two-way binding is happening. Okay, so now let's just save it and compile it. Okay, so in a few minutes all these changes will be reflected. So now after compilation, go to your browser. In a few seconds your web page will be displayed, okay, with that input. So now yes, you can see input element is coming with the name that we have declared in TypeScript file. Now when you will change it, automatically it will be reflected in your paragraph. So as you can see, this is two-way binding. First we are updating that value in TypeScript and then we are getting that value back in our paragraph. So this is two-way binding. I hope you understood well. Thanks for watching video. I hope you like it. Subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified early. Thank you.